One sec. Okay. Sorry, I've had some things built up here, so I just hadn't got to clean that much. Anyways, today I want to talk about truth seeking. Truth seeking. I want to talk about truth itself. I want to talk about a few things dealing with the whole world of truth itself. And really, it has a fabric of reality to it. It has everything to it. It's more than you know. It has a spectrum to it in a way, and reality is affected by how we perceive truth. Sometimes it affects us spiritually, and spiritually we can see what is real, what is true, what is good, and we can really figure out what life's about. A lot of times people do reality checks, but they're based on things that aren't true, such as doubt. Doubt isn't true. It's just an essence of something that lacks truth. And we have to understand that we we shouldn't doubt what is true. Okay, understand it's connected with truth. Okay, and what I mean by this is that we have all these things in the spiritual world going on, and we don't see them because we're not connected to heaven in the right way, or we're not connected to God in the right way. We have to see how these things work and really just focus on the Lord. One thing that's been in my mind the past week is about Kevin Zadai, and he told us, people were going to receive more and more from the Lord from heaven, and they'll be dreaming it and be given the full essence of it and be able to grow and live in the full essence of it. And they'll be living in it in a way where they're living in the millennial kingdom instead, in the future, as heaven is, instead of where they're at right now. And so understand that these things are important to really understand that we break the mold of the heavenly realm when we really receive deliverance in our body to receive the things of heaven better. And that's getting rid of doubt, getting rid of dialogue spirits. That's like spirits of worrying or other things that lock us up in places that we don't need to be locked up in. And so we understand that everything works towards the Lord and works towards having what he has and being what he is. And we're like him, and we follow him. Okay? Understand this isn't we don't one up God, okay? Because he's the infinite creator, and we are built to love him. We're built to hear from him. We're built to see him in the way that he wants to be seen. And so we're viewing perfection, and we're moving toward perfection through the deliverances that we've had. And so understand that if you never had deliverance, you don't understand what I mean. Okay? You have to really go through these experiences. And I can tell you, I'm not alone in the experience. So it's not a crazy thing. It's not a psychology thing. It's nothing that you've seen. You're ignorant and don't know. if you don't know what deliverance is. And so it's not a birth thing. Okay, understand it is something where your body is changing towards maturity in the Lord. And you receive more and more from the Lord. And you are moving towards spiritual maturity and also experiences to God. We experience him and we get to be a part of what God is teaching, showing, giving us. And we look at these things and then we can really just start to be changed by them. In the Bible, it talks about one prophet couldn't see what the other one could see. And he unveiled his eyes and he pointed at those places and he showed what was there. And he let God take over and show them what was there. And so we have to really want it. We have to really seek it. And then we can have what is real. Reality is under a spiritual war. Okay, so we have to understand that reality itself is under a spiritual war. And we have to understand that we have to be changed in order to understand the fullness of what happens to us in deliverance. And so deliverance takes away all the all the things that are dealing with doubt, sin, different categories of our life. And so we have to understand that we can overcome the world and see what the spiritual world has. And so we can overcome, we can make it to that next level. We can really see what truth is. We can really see what Jesus is. We have to see who he is and what he is. And so we understand these things better when we start to see the spiritual world. When we start to communicate with the spiritual world, when we start to understand the spiritual world, and we do this together and we understand it together. Because what's real, and I've seen this over and over and over, of the spiritual world is seen by others and reacted by others. And so they have the message, I have the message, and so we can overcome our spiritual doubts and really start to see the spiritual world. And so we can really understand the full fabric of reality by God and his truth. We can understand the full fabric of reality and all it does for us by going through the deliverance and really seeing what deliverance is. And so that's one thing that you talk about a lot when you deal with prophetic people is deliverance and really just understanding the full nature of it. And so we need to just develop a expertise in this and really just start to understand it in its full nature. It's good for us and it really helps us. Okay, so we can understand the full depth of truth. We can be in that and walk in that. And so we do it over time and we carry things to the next level and we understand these things. And so really you want to understand what the Lord has and really just understand the depths of truth and the seeking of truth and all the things that he is. And so just really just understand what God is, what is his matter, what, his being, his everything, what is his, okay? over our eyes, and it's something that is, um, when we are given a truth and a truth is revealed. And I'm not talking about, hearing the news or something like that. I'm talking about when we receive something from in how we view things, move in this understanding where we have more understanding from it and see what the aspects are about it, all the angles about it, and really just start to understand it, understand the world that God has for us, and really start to understand Him. Now, you don't want to let Satan take you in all these different angles in a way where you don't want Satan to lead you, okay? And so it's better to grow with other prophetic people to understand the full depth of things. You have to get into a flow of it. And then you start to understand how these things work. Okay? So the flow of understanding, you have to learn how to be a part of that. Okay? And understand your prophetic gifts, understand everything that's about, because you're dealing with aspects of and I've grown in the meaning of that for several years, since about 2009. I've been growing in the aspects of deliverance and receiving from the Lord. I've been receiving from the Lord since I was 12. So over 20 years. And so you start to notice things about spiritual activity and spiritual understanding. And you start to notice God and understand God and see what his character's like and really just understand the fullness of things. And so you start to get understandings and veils are taken off of your eyes and you see better. And so just understand the whole thing, okay? And we have to just grow with it, be patient with it, and see what he has for you. And so that's the fullness of what I have to talk about, really. So think about truth as connected to reality. And it connects to reality in all the things that it is. If you want to be a seeker of truth, you have to connect all the facets of reality. And you have to realize the fullness of that reality, and the fullness of it is what it is. And so you have to test things sometimes.